Did you know that this Google search box is actually referred to as a query box? Query meaning question. So tip number 1, we're going to search for information from a specific type of site. This is going to help you narrow your search results down to a specific domain. Here are some of the different domains you might need to search in. So let's look at how you conduct this type of search. First, you're going to type in the search term and then add site, colon, and then the type of site or the type of domain you want to search within. For example, if I want to find information about the Battle of Gettysburg from a government website, I'm going to type in Battle of Gettysburg and then site, colon, gov. The search results are going to come up, and if you notice, they're all part of the gov, which is a government website. So I know that this is information coming from the government and not some outside source. Tip number 2, search for information by file type. You're able to narrow down your search to the type of file you're looking for. Here are some example file types. So here, let's look at how we conduct this type of search. For this one, you're going to type in your search term and then add file type, colon, and then the type of file you want to search. For example, if I'm looking for PowerPoints on the Battle of Gettysburg, I'm going to type in Battle of Gettysburg, and here I'm going to type in file type, then I'm going to put a colon, and then I'm going to put PPT, which stands for PowerPoint, and hit enter. Now what is coming up are all the PowerPoints that are related to the Battle of Gettysburg, and from here I can click on them and see which PowerPoints might interest me. Tip number 3, you can search a specific site. So you're able to conduct a search from a specific website. For example, if I want to do a type of search like this, I'm going to put in my search term and then I'm going to add site, colon, URL. This is much like tip number 1 where I added site and I put gov for a government website. Well, now I'm telling it I want a specific website that I want to search in. So based on the searches that I'm going with, I'm going to stay with the Battle of Gettysburg and show I want the Battle of Gettysburg, but I no longer want it to be a PowerPoint. I want it to come from the New York Times. So I'm going to put site, then I'm going to put www.nytimes.com, which I know is the New York Times website, and then I'm going to hit enter. Now what it's showing me is it's showing me all the information about the Battle of Gettysburg that all comes from the New York Times. The next tip, number 4, is find similar or related sites. You're able to find websites that are similar to other websites. This is useful when you find a website that you really like, but you want additional websites that are similar to it. To conduct this type of search, you're going to type in related, colon, and then put the URL of the website that you want to find related websites to. For example, I found a grammar website that I like, but I want to find additional websites that might help me with my grammar. So in the query, I'm going to put in related, colon, and then I'm going to put the website that I'm interested in finding websites that are similar to it. I'm going to hit enter. Now what it's doing is it's giving me a bunch of websites that are similar to this grammar website that I had found. Tip number 5, search for an exact phrase. When you type in a search query, it is pulling results based on all the words that you're putting in, but not necessarily in the exact order that you're typing them. To conduct an exact phrase search, you're going to place the phrase in quotation marks. For example, say you've been given the task of finding the author of a specific quote. To conduct this search, I'm going to type in author, and then I'm going to place the quote in quotation marks here and hit enter. So what I've asked it to do is I've asked it to find the author of this specific quote. And here I can look and see that this quote, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything, is actually a Mark Twain quote. Tip number 6, searches for a range of numbers. Sometimes when you're looking for information, you want it to only include between certain years. For example, if I want information about the scarlet fever, but I only want it to include information between the years 1850 and 1860, I would type the following. I'd put scarlet fever, and then I'm going to put 1850, and I'm going to put ... and then 1860. What I have here is I have my search term, I have the first date, and then the dots are telling it to range it from 1850 through 1860. And when I hit enter, you will see here I have scarlet fever, and then you will see that there are dates that are included with it. Tip number 7, exclude words in search. Depending on what you're searching for, you might want to exclude information from it. To conduct a search that excludes words, you simply put a minus sign in front of the word you want to exclude. Perhaps you're trying to find the average speed of a jaguar, and in this case you want the animal and not the vehicle. So what I would do is I would type in average speed jaguar. I don't have to put of, that's one of those unnecessary words. But then I'm going to put minus sign and car. Or I could put also minus sign and vehicle, depending, and then hit enter. And what it's going to give me the average speed of a jaguar as in the animal. And this is how I can exclude all those that are going to come up with the average speed of the car. Tip number 8, search by reading level. You can narrow your results based on the reading level of the website. This will help students pick a website that they are able to understand. After typing the search query, such as this, I'm going to keep it on this one, I'm going to go to Search Tools, and then under All Results, I'm actually going to include Reading Level. Here it's going to tell me the results based on Basic, Intermediate, and Advanced. I can click on the one that I best want for myself or for my students. So if I click on basic, it's only going to pull up the websites that have the basic rating. Keep in mind the reading level for a particular result is determined by a computer program. When the program was created, thousands of web documents were rated by teachers as basic, intermediate, or advanced. These ratings help the program understand what factors led results to being easier or more difficult to read. When new results appear, the program determines their appropriate reading level based on the factors such as vocabulary, word length, and grammar. Tip number 9, narrow your search based on date added. This is useful if you're trying to find information and you want it to be the most current information. For example, say that I wanted to find current information on President Obama. But when I pull this up, it's going to pull up everything. But I want to narrow my search, and I want to know all the stuff that has come in the past hour. And it will show me. I can narrow it down from the past 24 hours. I can even go to custom range and say from a particular date of January 1st to January 31st of 2013. And hit go. And what's going to come up is everything that was added in that time frame. Tip number 10, know the source. With the vast amount of information stored on the web, you can't always believe everything that you read. You need to find out the source of the information to see if it's credible or not. Here's a scenario. You have assigned your students the task of gathering information on Martin Luther King. So the student goes to the web. First, I'm going to clear my results here, and I'm going to type in Martin Luther King and hit enter. As you see, I get over 83 million results. Well, I'm a student. What's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to go to the first few things and gather that information and use those as my source. But how do I know the information that I'm gathering is credible? For instance, I'm a student, I'm looking down, I see here, and I see, a website that's www.martinlutherking.org, a true historical examination. I'm thinking to myself, this is going to be great information. So I'm going to click on it, and here it shows a picture. It has rap lyrics. As a kid, who's not going to want to listen to the rap lyrics? I can see there's some videos, there's information on it. So now that I'm a student, I need to see, is this information credible? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to capture this and copy it. Then I'm going to go and open up a new tab. And in here, I'm going to type in whois.net. Whois.net is a website that's out there that's going to allow me to find out who the owner of this website is. So in here, I'm going to paste in my website, and I'm going to hit go. It brings up some information. What I'm trying to look at here is I want to know who the admin organization is. Here it says Stormfront, and I can see that it's based out of Florida. So I'm doing my investigation part, so I'm going to open up a new tab, and I'm going to type in Stormfront, Florida. Here I see Stormfront, but look at this. Here it's a P.O. Box 6637. I can come back here and see that this is in fact 6637. So this is the same organization. But what is this organization? Stormfront. It's actually a white nationalist community. If I click on this website, you can see that it's for racial realists and idealists. Is this a credible source for finding information on Martin Luther King? I'm pretty sure not. So if I go back here and I look at my website, I can see when I dig deeper in why the King holiday should be repealed, Black invention myths, teaching the students to go in and use websites like whoisit.net to find out and dig deeper. That's going to help them in the long run, and also teach them, can you believe everything that you read on the internet? Before we leave, I do want to show you one more thing. Google has created a website that has given you resources. Here is this website, and in this website, it's giving you lesson plans and activities, power searching tips, Google a day challenges. I love these. Here, I browse the challenges. They have different categories. They have culture, geography, history, and science. And it's not so much about the category as it is about developing the skills to become an advanced searcher. So if you don't teach one of these subjects, it's okay. Use these to practice with your students on how to become a better searcher. I can read it, or I can view the challenge, and it's going to pull it up into a Google presentation for me. So what I can do is I can display this for my students and go through. It's telling me the category. It's giving me the search that I'm trying to conduct, and then it goes through and gives me a few hints and how to find the answer. Use this to help your students become more advanced searchers.